There hasn't been one. Do you know what? There hasn't been. I realise that there hasn't been one guest who's struggled, who's held their own. Every single guest has been spot on, and they've delivered the message just perfectly. I honestly, there hasn't been one. There's been nothing bad. It couldn't have gone better. It's really just thank you.
And thank you, Paul, because I know you've been every waking moment you've been watching.
I managed to stay up till about 4 o'clock this morning.
Oh, fair play.
I reset my phone for 6:30.
Oh wow, you done better than we did.
When you come to and you think, did I swipe my phone to turn my phone off? And I looked up and it was 8:30, so I sort of jumped up then. And been back on it.
Well, actually, at that time we would have been playing documentaries anyway, so you wouldn't have missed any of
them. You were. I've seen some of them before from the previous one, so I didn't miss too much. And again, we can watch them all back, can't we? Once that
exactly. I'm looking forward to watching them all back. Obviously, when they go out in smaller sections, and I think that's when a lot of awareness will come in as well, because we can focus on getting them shared out as far as possible. Also, we must be doing something right, because we got, obviously you tried to share it earlier as well. We all tried to share the live feed, and we got, sorry, you can't share this at the moment. So they went in scared. They are.
Surprise, yeah. Well, but to be fair, with the jinxing they could have done to the station and the podcast-athon, you've got off pretty unscathed, really.
We managed to stay on YouTube.
I know.
To be fair, we've been pretty good.
Oh, I thought I was shouting.
We've been pretty good on Facebook on the stream. It's not dropped. It cuts off every 8 hours. But apart from that, it's been pretty good. That's the standard thing. And YouTube will probably censor the hell out of that after it gets released, I expect.
There's ways and means of getting that out, though, isn't there? So
we got to take the hats off to Rick. I mean, he's done the producing from there. He's done every single production.
Yeah,
he stayed up with us for every single production, and he's going to be ending up cutting these videos down into each hour by hour. So whereas we have said this, other people will be charging for those videos. All we want is we're not going to charge. They're free. They're going to be put out for everyone. But maybe, think of what other platforms put on events, and then they have to charge for the individual DVDs after. We just want a little bit of donation going to Public Child Protection Wales and to raise awareness. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely, Lou. And as I say, it's just a couple of quid. I mean, obviously we had an anonymous donor of £500 about an hour ago, and that's absolutely amazing. You're getting 10s and 20s here. Just a couple of quid. If everybody chucked a couple of quid in, we'd be done and dusted. We'd be done and dusted on the first podcast-athon, wouldn't we? But here we are, and So I put my cap on. I told you just before, I'm in my bloody dressing gown. I've not even got dressed today. The dogs haven't been out because it's been piddling down all day. But I put my cap on basically just to take it off to you guys. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And I knew it would be. Rick, to you as well, mate. Absolutely. I know I've messaged you privately in that, but just to say, on the public record for everybody to hear, what an absolutely outstanding job you've done, mate, pulling all this together.
And Jason's done.
Yeah, obviously all of you have just done absolutely amazing. Do you know what I mean?
Thanks a lot, Paul. But do you know what I mean? To sit there for 30 hours and talk about this. Okay, so there's a couple of little breaks here and there, and this is now the third time that Lou and Kat have actually done this. I can't do that. There's no way I could find the words. Absolutely no way at all. So, and I take my hat off to Lou and Kat.
You can't stop crying now.
Spot on, girls. Absolutely.
I will as well, then.
All the way through.
Thank you.
That compliment from Rick.
I know. He's been winding us up all day.
Don't get used to it. I'm still pissed about the bacon sandwich.
Maybe we should have recorded that bit.
Yeah.
We should have recorded that. Well, he did record us. He didn't let us know this morning when we're effing and blinding and moaning when we're coming in.
I'm a bit gutted because the only one I missed was Lawrence Fox. That's the only one I bloody missed, but I'm going to get that. That's the first thing I'll be going to.
He was brilliant, actually.
Everyone was brilliant. So. We should say big. Well, we still got Belinda. We have got.
Yeah, let's talk to Belinda, because Belinda has been at the forefront of campaigning for children for well over 20 years. She has supported everyone. She has been trolled. They've attacked Belinda like you wouldn't believe. And, you know, I've had people come to me, you know, it's just horrible. Horrible. And you met her. She travelled all the way down to Cardiff just to the court case. She travelled up to Scotland when the dear late Robert Green, was incarcerated up in Aberdeen. She has been a champion of the children, and she has been threatened with prison if she speaks out. And do you know what? She's speaking out, I think, today for the first time in I don't know how many years. Belinda, hi.
Hi, can you see me?
No, darling.
We can hear you.
What's happened? What?
We can hear you fine, but we don't know pictures.
Oh, I see. So you don't need to see me.
We don't need to see you. We'd love to see you, but
there should be a little camera icon down the bottom. If you click on that, should bring the video up.
That would help. Thank you. Because I'm not very technical, you see. That's my handicap. Right. Where do we go for the camera icon?
Bottom left, Belinda.
You should also have 3 dots down the bottom, so you might have a dip there, you know.
There she is.
Oh, hey. Hooray. Contact.
Hello, darling. How are you?
Hey. Right. Okay. Well, look, I've come a little bit at the end of the line, and I'm completely overwhelmed by all the excellent speakers we've already had, and everything they've said. You know, it's taken the words out of my mouth. If I even had them in my mouth, which, you know, so many people have informed me today, I can't really keep up with it all. My brain is full.
But you've been a champion of the children for years. You have been the things that's happened. Let's not talk about the bad things, but talk about the positive things. It's all about the children. It seems like this is the time. It really is. You've been trying to get the time is now for God knows how many years, but it seems there's a shift.
Oh, definitely. I call these the transition times in my mind. Right, because we're transitioning from one power structure, which goes back centuries, millennia, right, to a new one, which is people-led and people-based, right? That's what's happening. Make no two ways about it. And they're trying to have the last go at us and trying to frighten us and trying to go the weakest, you know, attack the weakest of us, which is the children and the very youngest children. Isn't that what they do? These cowards, these lowlife. You know, where is that anything like fair play? I mean, they don't work to our rules at all, as we know. They work to their own rules, and they serve another god or deity. I don't know. I mean, goodness, I wouldn't put him up. Well, he is the sort of deity I would put a millstone around the neck of, metaphorically, and put down to the bottom of the sea, because that's where he deserves to be, or it. I don't actually think some of these people are human, even in the gender sense. You know, I call them types. I've always called them
entities.
Types. Yeah. Entities, yes, whatever you like. Because basically, whatever happened with nature with them, poor things, they've certainly gone to town on nurture, haven't they? And they're training up each generation of new members of their community, born into their community, have to go through the most horrendous childhood. And it starts actually in the womb. Babies may be tortured in the womb, and they do that. They stick a needle through and torture the poor little fetus, and then when they come out, they have to participate in rituals and be indoctrinated and be raped at some god-forsaken age of youth, babies upwards, and this goes on right through childhood. And they create this sort of subhuman, totally subhuman, psychopathic sort of subclass of life, I suppose you might call it life, but not very effective life. And then because they've all suffered this incredible trauma and emotional abuse in childhood, they're not fulfilling emotionally at all anymore. In fact, they're disintegrated emotionally, but they're very clever, and that's the problem, right? They're very clever, and they're very, very good at manipulating and changing their guise, and you know, being very charming sometimes when it suits them, very personable. A lot of celebs are of this special class of, I won't even call them humans, but anyway, certainly they're a form of life anyway, that's for sure. And they also operate, as we do, on the spiritual dimension as well as we do, and as our God does, right? So if we don't meet them here, we're going to meet them in the afterlife in some shape or form. And we've got to learn to deal with them and put them down where they belong at the lowest level, and not allowed to interfere with our society, which is upwardly mobile in a spiritual sense, ever more after this point in time. Now we're getting all the knowledge we need about them, how they behave, how they manipulate us, what their methodology is, how they deceive us, lie, dissemble, trick us and con us and frighten us. We know all their tricks. We know all their tricks by now. Okay. So we now have to stand up to them. And if we stand up to them, we do so in the power of the greatest power in the universe, who is here for us, has always been universal high command. I look my personal name for God because he's in charge of everything. He's the creator. He's the maintainer, sustainer. I don't care what religious names he's got. That's not really my concern, because I just like to keep it clear in my own head who I'm relating to and who we can call upon. And then if enough of us can call upon that highest power, he will hear us. He will come to our aid through every single channel that we lay open to him. So if we can collect ourselves into sufficient numbers, and I really do think that we're in a numbers game, right? I've always felt this with this, this last fight we've got to have on this planet. And it's the most basic, the most bloody, awful fight, because it's so painful to see what they do to these our poor little children, right? It's so, and what you dear people have been talking about all weekend is one aspect. It's a hugely important one. It's one that actually I was not very well up in until I listened to this whole podcast this weekend. So that's what I'm saying. I've learned a lot from you about.
That's great. I mean, it is all. I mean, there are so many other factors, and we've all gone. There's so much to cover, but at the moment, our focus solely is on this, because this is a pure grassroots movement. They are gaining traction. It will set a precedent. It will wake people up to do more for the children. And then once there is that mass of people waking up to it, then we can look at the other aspects of where the children are being abused. But this is something that can't be tainted. This is something that's so organic, organic and important that it can't be corrupted, because everybody, as we've been saying the whole weekend, there's common ground for everybody, believers from whatever faith, even if you're not with a faith, if you're, multi-dimensional, whatever, everyone agrees that there's boundaries when it comes to the children, and what is going on is not acceptable.
It's the bottom line. It's the no-go area. It's the hands-off area. We have to absolutely draw the line at that point. Anything under the age of 18, not touched. This should be a planetary law, an international law. That's what I'm aiming at, to win the battle in our country, thanks to you wonderful ladies in Wales. I mean, I don't care if it's Scotland that takes the lead, or Ireland, or England, or whichever part of the UK it is. It happens to be Wales. I go with you in Wales 100%, because you have helped to form this country's civilization in the medieval times. I've got a very good friend called Edward Ellis. I don't know if anybody's heard of Edward Ellis, but he's an equity lawyer, and his people come from North Wales, and they were North Welsh sheep farmers in the medieval times, and they helped to bring about the unification of this country, number one, to quell the warring barons who are marching around causing mayhem in various regions, to create a level playing field, an equity system between the barons, the king, and the people. And the result was Magna Carta, right? So that impetus and that knowledge and impulse came from North Wales, right? And he's explained it to me many times. One thing I want to do is actually record him talking about his own personal history and his ancestors, because that's one of the most interesting things about him. But anyway, the point is, Wales, as one of you said today, who was it? No, it was you, wasn't it, Kat? That's a small country
Yeah.
21 councils, is that right? Yes,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
you, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yes.
it was me.
And, you can drive from bottom of Wales to the top of Wales in one day.
Less than 1 day, 4 hours, I think it took to get the north.
It's a perfect size to be the spearhead, in my view. Right,
Yeah,
and we've got
exactly.
in the royal family, we've got Prince of Wales, haven't we? I don't know what part he's going to play, but
Don't get
we will
started.
see.
Paul,
We will
anything
see.
to comment on what Belinda's saying, Paul?
There was sort of something that I wanted to say with regards to the masses being aware of what's going on and that. I sort of put it akin to when you first open your curtains in the morning and the light's that bright that you squint. And I think that's the point that the masses are at the moment, and it's slowly adjusting to that brightness.
Yes.
I love that.
And
That's really
That's
good.
really
Darren.
good one.
Yeah.
Should we write
We've
that
got
one
the
down?
soul in there.
But I mean, that's what we are. We're the light, and we have to bring clarity in a confused world. One or two speakers made it sound really quite complicated what's going on. Bless them, because they've studied the subject from all angles, and they've talked to academics and leaders of committees and people who've produced reports and who've been churning out the verbiage relating to this subject, when really it's very clear. You do not mess with our children. You leave the children to grow up in innocence. Obviously, this can't protect them from everything, but the impulse should be there to protect the children. We need the fathers involved as well as the mothers. So many people made very good points about what needs to happen. And we need the education system to go back to what it usually did in the past, which was actually educate children and help them with their reading, writing, arithmetic, their geography, their history, and their science eventually. And that is all that's necessary in the schools, and leave everything else to everyone else, especially the families. The families can take care of the children as they've always done. The best of the children's protection is in the families. And that's what they're trying to destroy, of course, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly what they're doing, a total and utter breakdown of the family unit. Now you're getting back on track. You are going to start a website, and you're trying to bring communities to get together. It's the Children First. What's the website, Belinda?
The website is childrenfirstuk.net, right? Because it's a network. Okay, it's not a sort of organization in the formal sense. It's really lots and lots of people in many different areas communicating with each other. The sort of vision is a sort of nationwide community, all with the first priority in their minds is protecting the children, because they are our young. What species of animals, particularly mammals, does not protect its young as its prime motivation?
Yeah, that's perfect, actually, as well.
We are the only species that does these dreadful things. And I have to say that proves that certain people who are promoting all this are, I'm afraid, descending to subhuman levels. That's the only thing you can say. But normal humans will do everything they possibly can to look after their children, protect them, keep them from psychological harm, from perversion of all kinds. That's what we natural creatures on this planet do. Yeah. So what's with humans that we're so far away from it already, so quickly and so fast in just one generation almost? It's appalling, isn't it? And the speed at which it's all going forwards, to me, indicates sheer panic, because I think these people know that we're on the case, that quite a lot of them double as paedophiles and child abusers and drinkers of adrenalized blood, dare I say. I don't like to say these things too loudly, but
no, you're right.
We have to say it loud.
No, but we still want to get the message out of the end of this podcast-athon, because we've only just got back on YouTube for a day. But we're totally with you on that, Belinda. We are totally.
Going to shut up in a minute,
but just keep it on topic.
My vision is of a nationwide network, a nationwide movement, which we talked about movements several times this afternoon, haven't we? Yeah. Or yesterday as well. We need a movement. We need lots and lots and lots of people involved in every, and I base it on parliamentary constituencies just for convenience. There's nothing wrong with Parliament, and I think it was Lawrence, wasn't it, who said there's nothing wrong with MPs or Parliament. We just need good quality ones. Oh no, Clive de Carle. Sorry, but Lawrence could have said it too. But Clive de Carle we need 600 good people in Parliament, and we need to chuck out the paedophiles and the abusers of various kinds.
And the idea was with the network, wasn't it, Belinda, that everybody in that area, their constituents, speaks to the MPs and finds out who agrees with this education. And then there's, we have pockets to know what areas, look, this guy doesn't come, they don't. And, you let people know in that area, it's your job in your area to make sure, well, look, this guy believes that children should be taught sex at 3. So this is the way.
We're coming up to an election next year, aren't we? So we could have a dry run, really, about how to start to fill the Parliament with paedophile rejecting people and child abuse, extreme child abuse rejecting people, and we can start the ball rolling. Yes. If we have enough time, we do, between now and next May. I think we do have enough time. A year is a good round figure to be working with, isn't it? And when we meet again, as I hope we will, many times in the next few months, we can grow our network and we can get nearer and nearer to having people. I don't care what it's called. It doesn't have to be Children First. It could be Child Protection Wales, national or something like that. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't care what the name is. The point is, it's a community and it's a movement and it's nationwide and it's in every area of the country, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go much further. Do congratulate you on what you've achieved. I mean, it's been an education.
We are being censored and people are trying to share our link now and it's not available.
It's saying content not available.
So it looks like something's...
what you need to do...
I'm going to get off your backs now because you're at the end of your day. You need to rest.
Belinda, thank you. Thank you for taking time out of your day to come on. We appreciate it so much, Belinda, everything that you do. And I'll speak to you on the way home tomorrow.
All right, love. Take care.
God bless and thank you, Belinda.
Lovely to be part of it. Lovely to be part of it. Thank you. Bye-bye.
She's such a support.
Oh, thank you, Belinda.
She bought my train ticket.
Oh.
And the petrol and the live streaming for this.
She's a darling.
I think it was Dr. Chan that said before.
We've just been right. Did you get? Sorry, Paul. I just noticed. I just gone on Facebook, and the live link that I shared a couple of times yesterday says.
Oh no, because he's had to restart it. The live link, hadn't he?
Yeah. So we restarted the Facebook feed because I thought it was going to drop out in the middle of Kim.
So where is it then?
On Liberty Tactics Facebook page.
Yeah, go to Liberty Tactics on Facebook.
But that's where it's streaming live.
It's there. You could go to my Facebook. I think I shared it just before they probably banned the sharing on that one as well. Probably.
So listen, we've got £9,849. That's a combined total with Podcast-athon round 2. I was asking yesterday when we kicked off the show at noon, I said I'd really like to get to 10 grand, this figure, by 6 p.m. Then I said, really nice to get that figure up to 10 grand by midnight. We still haven't made it, and we're 30 out. We're 30. How many hours? We're not. I don't know how many hours we're in.
Yeah.
30. Any minute now, we're coming into the 30th hour.
We will break all these interviews down.
Yeah.
Over the next
well, I said
this.
I said that there's people, people who do events and things like this. They break those videos down and then they go and charge them for people to download them. We're not going to do that. All we're asking is to get
we
for
can
free.
Get them out when
but what I'm saying is they're going to be free.
Oh, yeah,
so if they're going to go and watch them individually, maybe put a bit of a donation in, because if it was somebody else, a lot of people do charge for that, don't they?
Yeah.
And we don't
believe.
And
it's vital information.
Yeah.
It's the most important information you really do need to see as well. And I mean really need to see. We've come at all angles tonight. Is it tonight? Oh, don't stop.
I've been saying on my ramblings, you have a little laugh breakdown, Kath. I've been saying on my ramblings about share and stuff, and I think one of the last ones I did was highlighting the fact that I hadn't been on any rallies myself over the last couple of years due to family commitments and that. But the least I could do was my ramblings, and the least everyone can do is share.
Yeah, exactly.
It's to raise awareness is more than,
Take it, copy it, paste the link into all your different social, because most
an
people
important
have got
subject.
multiple social media platforms. I haven't, but most people have, haven't they? And they got all the other things.
Well, if you're not banned.
Yeah, well, yeah.
To be
But
fair,
yeah,
like,
on all-
I have to.
I'm trying to hold my head up all the time. Sorry. Oh, right.
Right,
To be
girls,
fair, like I said-
I got to nip off. I've got to nip off for 10 minutes.
Why? What are you having for dinner?
Jason, we got a roast dinner. I didn't
Really
get bacon
nice, 10
sandwiches.
minutes.
Full on roast.
I know what we've
Don't
got.
worry about that.
We've got dinner coming soon.
Oh.
Oh yeah, we have.
Oh, yummy.
Are you going to have tea, are you?
Here,
All right.
all my best to Kim. If I don't catch her before she goes, obviously don't end the stream before I'm back. So you'll have to.
Shaved your head.
Hang on a minute. Who's letting Kim in then?
Jason.
Jason.
Okie dokie. You may leave.
Oh, look at her. She's getting a bit bloody cocky.